if they would like. That should be starting momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and get everyone checked in here. I see we have Matt Lashide from our zoning department. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, David.
As I call your names as I go through here, if you could just confirm if there is a name on the screen, if you could confirm that name is correct. If it's not your full name, if you could just tell me what your full name is and who you're representing here today, that would be great. So I have T Germany, and you are on mute.
My name's Tim Germany, and I'm with MedCut Research, Inc. We're a neighbor. We have a great relationship with them, so we only had one concern. We'll talk about it when it's time.
Sure. Yep. We'll get to that in just a minute. Thanks. And welcome. We have Dave Hartline.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm David Hertline. I am the Associate Director for Engineering at AbbVie here in Cincinnati.
Okay, great. Welcome. Tyler.
Good afternoon, everybody. Tyler Kiefer. I'm with BSI Engineering on behalf of AbbVie here. We are who did the design, the civil engineering, and I'm a civil engineer on the project.
Okay, great. Could you spell your last name for me?
Yes, it's Kiefer, Kiefer.
Okay. Welcome, Mr. Kiefer.
Thank you.
And Dustin Wiltshire.
Yes, that's correct. I'm with AbbVie as well, Global Security Director for the region. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thanks for being here. Are we expecting anyone else on the AbbVie side to be here with us today before we get started?
No, just us.
All right, great. Let's get into it then. I need to read through our hearing script. This will basically just cover the procedure for the hearing. So this is the November 1st, 2023 session of the zoning hearing exam docket. The case before us today is case number ZH20230151. That is 3941 Brotherton. The purpose of the hearing is to allow applicants and any potential opposing parties to testify and to offer and refute evidence and testimony. The hearing will follow the rules found in the zoning code and the supplemental rules of the zoning hearing examiner. All testimony and evidence that an applicant or any other party wishes to offer must be presented at this hearing. The hearing will proceed as follows. The applicant, the applicant's attorney, or the applicant's agent will first present the applicant's case. For our purposes here today, I'll let all the folks from AbbVie one of you can speak, all of you can speak. However you want to orient the presentation is perfectly fine. I'll just turn the floor over to all of you guys, and whoever wants to speak can do that. I'll then go to Mr. Germany, who I think is our only member of the public here that is going to be providing any testimony. So Mr. Germany, I'll allow you to add to the conversation after they've presented their case. I'll hear from the zoning department. Today, that's Matt Lashide, the zoning plan examiner on the case. In the event that any party testifies or offers argument in opposition to this application, the applicant will have the opportunity to rebut that testimony and or argument offered in opposition. And then finally, the applicant will have an opportunity to make any closing statements. After all presentations have been made, I will close the hearing. Decisions may be expected within 2 weeks. I may limit or exclude any testimony that I deem irrelevant or outside the scope of the application being considered. I may interrupt any speaker to ask questions or to make any comments. In the event of any technical difficulties with the Zoom technology, I'll do my best to troubleshoot those on the fly. But to the extent there's a defect that prevents us from meaningfully going forward with this hearing, I may continue or postpone the hearing at my discretion. Finally, I just need to swear in all of our witnesses. So if you'd like to provide any testimony here today, make any comments, ask any questions, really do anything other than just strictly observe, then the zoning code requires that I swear you in. So if that is you, I'd like to just collectively swear everyone at the same time. So if that's you, if you could just take yourself off of mute, I'll need everyone to raise their right hand and to answer out loud. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you shall give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Yes, I do.
Okay. Great. Thanks, everyone. So who will be taking the lead here on the presentation?
I will.
Okay, floor is yours.
So, am I able to share my screen? Let's see.
Absolutely. Yes.
Please let me know when you can see it. Oh, should see a picture of our front office. Can you see that? No, I need
nothing. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I can see the front steps.
Okay, then let's do it this way. Slideshow from beginning. Can you still see it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for this opportunity. I am the engineering director for AbbVie Cincinnati, and wanted to review both our site, give an overview of what we do, and then of course the variance that we're looking for our fence along the Brotherton Rd property. This is a photograph of our main entrance at 5000 Brotherton. We have, well, I'll just jump over to, we have buildings on both sides of the street at the dead end of Brotherton here. So I'll give an overview of the site and then we'll talk about the fence. From an aerial view, okay, at the top, we have 5000 Brotherton. The left half of that building is our warehouse. I guess I should mention we are a pharmaceutical manufacturer. AbbVie is headquartered in Chicago with facilities throughout the world. This site has been here for decades, but was recently purchased by AbbVie a few years ago. AbbVie takes security at our facilities very seriously, and we want to make sure that our facilities are as safe and secure as possible. And obviously perimeter fencing is a big part of that.
Has it been a pharmaceutical manufacturing facility before AbbVie purchased it?
It has. It was Allergan before that, Activist before that, and Forest dating back into maybe the 90s or something like that.
Got it.
Hey, David, this is Dustin. Let me just interject real quick. I'm still seeing the full kind of presentation deck, not the mode one. I don't know if anyone else can see.
Yeah,
There we go.
there you go. You can just click through it that way.
Might have to advance it manually that way. There you go. Thanks.
Are you okay? Can you see the overview right now?
Yep.
Okay.
We can see the fourth slide deck there.
Okay. Aerial imagery right now?
Yeah, with the yellow.
Okay, great. So 5000 Brotherton is there to the north. That's on the left of that building is our warehouse. We've got parking. We've got our offices, and then towards the right half of the building is packaging lines. We have traditionally packaged a wide variety of products here, and we'll continue to do that and looking to grow our business over time. This whole property at 5000 Brotherton is fenced in right now with a chain link fence with razor wire. But that's not our standard going forward in AbbVie. 3941 Brotherton to the south is that building at kind of an angle with some green space to it. And that green space is what we're seeking to fence in because we have a handful of mostly emergency exit doors, but we want to make sure that our perimeter is secured and that access to our doors is not as easy as walking right up to them. In that building in 3941, we manufacture a product called Armor Thyroid. And then we package it across the street. So we also have our QC lab is on the second floor. So we have a variety of operations and personnel in that building. As I mentioned, you know, we're a pharmaceutical manufacturer. In 3941, we've got two fairly standard oral solid dose manufacturing trains from dispensing, granulation through compression. So that building in 3941 produces the tablets. They are then taken across the street to 5000 Brotherton for packaging into bottles. And we have a variety of packaging equipment there too. It's a lot of capabilities. And we are a key site within the AbbVie network. We also have our warehouse. So that's why 5000 is fully fenced in, but we do store work in progress in 3941 and want to continue to make sure that that is secured. So jumping over to the Roslyn fence, our reason for doing this is there are multiple egress doors to our 3941 building within that green space essentially. And there are pedestrians that walk along that sidewalk as there should be. And there's really nothing stopping them from walking right up to our doors. They are locked, but we'd rather no one be able to do it. We are seeking approval to proceed with the permit to enclose that property within an 8-foot anti-climb security fence. My understanding of the code is that we'd be allowed to do 6-foot fence basically anywhere within our property. And so we're really just seeking that variance to add that extra 2 feet to get the anti-climb function out of it. That fence style, the anti-climb, the steel wire anti-climb fence is the AbbVie standard. And I've got some pictures to show an example of it shortly for a variety of reasons. Most importantly is that there are no handholds or footholds and it's very difficult to climb. We asked about a 6-foot version to it, but that is not produced because it would be relatively easy to hoist yourself or get yourself over a 6-foot fence, whether you can get your hands and fingers into it or not. Also, it is aesthetically neutral. And from a safety perspective, there are no barbs or spikes on the top. It's basically a straight top across, so that if anyone were to try to climb it or somehow get over it, they'd at least not be hurting themselves in the process, at least not at the top. So we want to make sure that everyone around it is safe, we're safe, and secure. We will also install landscaping after installation of the fence to make sure that the entire area is aesthetically pleasing. So from an overview on the right, we've got the permit drawing right, but on the left, just kind of showing with an aerial photo, the area that we're seeking to fence in, roughly anyway. But it'll start towards along our property. At the top left is the Nair building, and the Nair property will run along the property line there. Follow out, they have a picket fence that we'll be following out. We'll then go south in a straight line, a little bit ways in from the sidewalk, and then go tie into the very corner of our building. At that very corner of our building is our emergency exit from our lab. And just south of that at the Metcut building is at least a door. I'm not sure what's on the other side, but a door from their side. We won't be enclosing their door in. And our property line does, from the survey, extend further south. So we will be well within the property line that we established during our survey. I think I want to show some pictures next. So on the left is a view from the street or from the sidewalk anyway of the Roslyn green space that we're fencing in. And then on the right is a manufacturer's photo of the exact fence that we're purchasing. So you can see right through it. There should be no visibility concerns or anything like that. Very flat top. Like I said, aesthetically neutral. And then we will have some landscaping along the bottom. We have installed, and Dustin had provided some photos. This is the AbbVie standard for all the reasons that I've mentioned as we try and secure all of our buildings. So this is another AbbVie facility where we've installed this exact fence. On the left before, you can see how you could walk right up to windows and walls, and there's probably some doors there too or something. But once you get it fenced in, that area is secure. Similarly, at another facility, they had what appears to be something like a 6-foot wire fence that isn't necessarily anti-climb and would be relatively easy to push your car right up to it and hop over. But with that 8-foot anti-climb fence, it's not easy to access that facility. So with that, I'd like to thank everyone for their time and answer any questions that we've got.
Before you close out your share screen, can you go back to the one of the larger overviews of the site? Yeah,
This one,
that
maybe?
yeah, that's good. Can you just because I know we're going to get to Mr. Germany here in a minute, are one of these his building? Is it visible in this image?
Not visible. Well, I shouldn't say that. Metcut has this white building here.
Okay.
But we're not fencing on that side. If I had to guess, his concern is more the south one.
Okay.
Where they are right up against each other.
Sounds good. All right. Did Mr. Kiefer or Mr. Wilshire want to add anything right now?
The only thing I think David did a great job. The other thing to touch on is we do have a small site-specific condition that we have to deal with as well. And by the entrance door on the north side, a 6-foot fence, it actually sits below grade. It's a weird scenario where the property line of the neighbor is higher than AbbVie's property line by a couple feet. So that kind of creates a weird scenario where there would only be like a 4-foot reveal of fence if it was a 6-foot fence. So that doesn't provide very much security on that specific portion of fencing. So that would be the only item I would like to stress and bring to attention.
Okay, great. That makes sense. Thanks, Mr. Kiefer. Okay, let's go over to Mr. Germany. Mr. Germany, what would you like to add?
If we pulled up that site map again, it's number 8, and all we're looking at is these buildings were built a long time ago, and they're built right together. and they're on an angle, and basically all we're looking at is there is a bush that blocks seeing the traffic, and we're not sure based on the survey if that bush is on our property or on Abby's property. We've always got along very well with them, and we don't have any problem. Only thing we wanted to do was maybe remove that bush, and I think it's probably on their property, so we can't do it without their permission. I just wanted to bring it up as part of this project.
Sure. Do you all know what he's referring to? I can
It's-
try and just do a
Yeah,
scan
it's
here
this
quickly.
bush. I don't
Is
know
it-
if I'm still.
is it
Yeah,
this
there
guy?
it is.
That's it.
That's it. If you
Okay.
say our driveway, I mean, the fence is going to come somewhere around that bush. It doesn't come on the inside of it, I don't believe. I think it goes on the outside of it.
The way it's drawn, and Tyler might correct me, I think the bush will be on the outside of the fence, but it might be on our property. So we can take a look at, especially while we're landscaping that, we can look at taking it down. I mean, I have no.
That's the only thing we were just when we were starting to look at it, we've had a couple people say they can't see when they come out, and it's been trimmed back a couple times, but I'm thinking, and then when we saw the actual stake in the ground, we were like, we don't know if we're allowed to do it, so we just wanted to bring it up. That's all it was, and there's no problem. We have no problem with the fence at all, and everything you have. It looks good. I think it's fine from that standpoint. We just didn't want to, we just it's kind of weird where that bush is and how our property lines go. I think the way when they built it, I think on this side, some of your property extends into our building, and on the other side, some of yours goes on to, it's just really weird. I mean, I've never seen one butt up against anything. So this must have been done like in the early 60s, maybe even before that.
Yeah, that looking at the survey and our construction plan there, and they did actually mark that bush. It's kind of hard to get a hard corners and everything on that bush, but it looks like the bulk of that is on AbbVie's property from this survey image that I'm looking at here.
Well, I can commit to taking that down then. And if you're okay with that, Mr. Germany, if some of that's on your property, we'll just take care of it because we're going to have the area dug up to put the fence in anyway. We're going to put in landscaping that, I'm picturing something shorter, boxwoods, things like that you can neither climb on, nor will they grow out of control. So I don't want to impact visibility within your parking lot by any means. So we can take care of that one way or another.
I think with where the fence is going to come, I don't think even when you would put landscaping in there, that bush just happens to be, and it's not really all that pleasing either. So
right,
if we could take that out, that would be great. We're fine with it. If you need anything from us, just let us know.
Likewise.
Okay, great. All right, let's go over to the zoning department. Matt, did you want to add anything to the conversation here?
Hey, David, I appreciate it. Yeah. Pull up the staff report here. I mean, it's zoned MG, which is manufacturing general. So district allows a lot of industrial uses. Not all of them are as nicely maintained as this one. And not, they could build a bigger building right on the property line. Sometimes in MG, you see barbed wire fencing that doesn't look quite as nice. I think it's a pharmaceutical company. I understand their security concerns, and Mr. Wiltshire is here to speak to that. I think that's a unique condition. And Mr. Kiefer also outlined that change in grade right outside of their property, which was some of our early conversation. And I understand that's kind of unusual, and it would reduce a 6-foot tall fence to 4 feet. So with that, looking at the fact that the fence is set back from the sidewalk, a lot of times in the front yard, we don't want a fence that's taller in the front yard because it would be right on the sidewalk. It would just be a bad look for the pedestrians or drivers. It might obstruct visibility from neighboring properties like Mr. Germany, but that's not the case here. It's at least 50% see-through, and it's set back from the sidewalk, so it's not going to obstruct visibility. And they've proposed some landscaping in here to improve the overall appearance. So with those considerations, we recommend approval.
Okay, great. Thanks, Matt. I don't think that I have any additional questions. Anything from the AbbVie folks, either in response to something you heard from Matt or Mr. Germany, or in closing or otherwise before we adjourn here?
Just thank you for your time and consideration, and hopefully it works out and we can install a fence.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate the process and seeing how it works. So thank you.
Sure. Yeah, let's leave it at that then. I agree with the statements made today. I think it would be impractical to strictly enforce the zoning code to this particular project and application. And so based on that, and based on the application and the staff report, I am going to approve the request for zoning relief. I need to formalize that approval in a written decision. Excuse me. I mentioned at the beginning that it typically takes about 2 weeks. As soon as I finish the decision, I put it into a PDF and I email it to everybody in the hearing here today. So you all will have a copy of it really just moments after it's complete. I think I will include a condition that there is landscaping along that fence line. I know that's part of the plans. I think that would probably be anyways, but you may see that as a condition just to make sure that there is some landscaping there. I think that's a nice component of the project. But yeah, otherwise, yeah, then as soon as you have that email PDF decision, Matt can approve the zoning permit on his end. So any questions about the process or procedure going forward? Okay. If you do, feel free to reach out to myself. I'm sure Matt would be happy to answer questions on his end. And if you'd like an update on the status of the decision, you can email me directly, and I'm happy to provide an update for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks again for your testimony. Thank you, Mr. Hartline, for your presentation. Really appreciated that. And